Hello there, welcome back to the ASUS ROG DreamLeague Season 3 coverage over here on the casting panel with myself, Odie Pixel and Draskell, and we're ready to get ourselves into Game 2 of the series, the final of this week. Team Tinker, of course, versus the side of Team Vega. And we're seeing the first pick Enchantress, Andy.
Yeah, I mean, we saw Enchantress yesterday in the first game, I think it was, right? First game of 6.84, we had an Enchantress, and Way 2 suffered the wrath of the Mask of Madness impetus, and it wasn't great for him. They did end up winning the game, but they also had to realize that, hey, we got to address Enchantress at some point. And as first pick is given to Team Tinker in the second game, the Beastmaster was banned out by Vega themselves because they actually favor it so highly that they weren't even willing to let Team Tinker get it as a first pick, as they took out the Chen and the Wisp. So everything looking kind of similar for Vega and what they want to do, but instead of going the route of an Enigma in the second game, they're going to pick up the Enchantress instead.
Okay, and I mean, yeah, it's an interesting one. So Enchantress, as you said, very convinced that it's a very powerful hero.
Oh, yeah.
Very strong. But I mean, she is still fairly squishy. And with a Scarf and a Shadow Fiend, if you're able to get there with the Ancient Seals, the Razors, the Arcane Bolts, she'll still blow up.
The thing with Enchantress against what Team Tinker has is if you position well, and the Shadow Fiend even goes for his early kind of sieging build where he goes mech, SNY, BKB, stuff like that, your impetus still deals a tremendous amount of damage. And if you get any kind of good farm, you can just be that turret in the back line that just deals with the Shadow Fiend. Think of how Sniper works against Shadow Fiend. The Sniper beats Shadow Fiend because the Sniper, you can never get to him. He just stays too far away. So 740 attack range, it's not quite Sniper range, but you deal, I think, more damage on average per hit than what a Sniper will be able to do to a BKB Shadow Fiend, at least earlier into the game. So depending on if they want to run it as kind of a Lina transition hero where you go from being a support / ganker to a core, you can do that. You can also just give her total farm priority and not gank at all, which I don't think will be the case because you're up against Shadow Fiend mid. I think you'll probably want to try to address Qualifier at some point. But I do think that it has a lot of value in these types of drafts. So Team Tinker are going to have to pick something that just says, we can jump on this Enchantress and we can kill her. Man, this is like super push. They just want to push, push, push every single game.
I mean, it worked out in game 1.
It worked out in game 1 because Mag and Seema just destroyed them like everywhere, man. They were getting gank after gank after gank. We can see Luna almost never picked and certainly almost never banned, less than 1% ban rate.
And with Luna, of course, I mean, change-wise, obviously they changed the ultimate.
Yeah, the Aghanim's ultimate now, I believe you can cast it in an area, like target area.
It's a long, I believe it's a 2,500 cast range.
Yeah, it's massive.
So it's a massive cast range.
I wonder if he will actually go Aghanims, because Luna's problem, she's very squishy in the early part of the game. And typically you go for Helma the Dominator, you go for Yasha, you go for Treads. A lot of items that just increase your farming speed and also increase your mobility. But then you go BKB and it's like, yeah, okay, I kind of have to run at people to use my ulti. It's still very situational and how useful it can be. But if you have Aghanims and you can just cast it in an area, it's like 10 times better.
And I mean, of course, the thing you can do as well is, of course, cast it onto an ally, so it then follows the ally. So we're talking about the Enchantress maybe being a target. If you're able to get that Axe on Luna, then you're able to just put it on Enchantress and be like, okay, you can try and go on Ench.
When the hero dies, who gets the Eclipse cast on him, does the Eclipse end? Similar to how when Luna dies, her Eclipse ends.
Good question.
Because I haven't seen anybody build it yet.
Yeah, I'd say no, because otherwise then you would always kind of not want to cast it on an ally in case
unless they were super tanky. I mean, you could put it on DK.
That's true.
DK is like a beast. He could take the front line.
You know what?
We'll have to theory craft.
Why should talk about the draft? I'm going to find out,
He's just gonna
For our viewers online at home going, oh, these scrubs, you should have done it on the test class. Sorry.
Yeah, but nobody played Luna at all yesterday.
Luna wasn't the go-to hero on 6.8. I've got to play Luna now.
I played 8 hours, and all I saw were Alchemist pickers, a lot of rats, and some Nyx players.
Okay.
That's pretty much the majority of what I had seen. And Team Tinker, they're going to pick up a Wraith King, a hero that we have not really seen a whole heck of a lot. Has some pretty good power against the DK Luna 5-man strategy because you have 2 lives. So you can walk in, you can be a nuisance, you just die once, you slow everyone. Your team gets in a good position, you re-engage, and you take the team fight based off that. So you can do stuff like bait out BKBs, you can force them to use ultimates on you. There's a lot of merit to picking a very tanky 2-life hero against what Vega are putting together.
Now, a potentially newbie 6.84 question. Say Wraith King gets Aghanims, does Shadow Fiend have 2 instances of Requiem go off for his 2 deaths?
No, if he doesn't actually die. No. Because I don't think it actually animates your death when you spawn as a Wraith, right? You just kind of like turn into a Wraith.
Again, and Wraith King's not been
you just turn into a Wraith.
Yeah.
Instead of dying.
So you don't actually have a death animation through the Wraith? No.
I don't actually think you would, because that
that would be
really good.
that would
Like,
be next
really
level,
good.
but yeah, probably not. But yeah, looking at the Luna's upgrade, so no, it doesn't say anything about whether it stays on if you cast it on someone's dead.
I think it would stay, because if you can target an area, then you would probably just have it stay in that area until it wears off. I don't know. I don't even know if he's going to go Ags. I just thought it would be cool.
No, I mean, it's an item that, I mean, even on a Luna, I guess stat items.
It's really good
pretty
for
nice.
tankiness.
Yeah, for tankiness.
I mean, it gives 390 health. It gives like 1.4 armor or something like that, and it gives you some mana. So it's not a bad item, not at all. And even some people were making it before they even buffed it in the first place. And Team Tinker
going with the old Brood, and Brood, she got herself some nice little buffs this patch.
Yeah, I mean, the hero in general, even before the buffs, was still good against this type of lineup because they don't have any deep push at all. Like, they have one form of spam, and that's DK. So their last pick is going to have to be something that directly addresses the Brood. Otherwise, you're going to have some freaking problems. But yeah, they changed Incapacitating Bite a little bit. I think the damage scaling is a bit better.
Yeah, I believe it is.
Yeah, and I don't think they really did much else. I think it was just
unique attack modifier.
Ah, yeah, that's right.
Yes,
now you can get like
passive is now unique attack modifier.
Other abilities on top of that, like orb effects if you wanted them. Like Lifesteal, you probably wouldn't buy anyway because you can just buy Vlad's. Because Vlad's doesn't count as a orb anyway. So you
could
that's
get
why
it
so many
anyway
people
on
would
Brood.
buy it.
Yeah.
But maybe you go for like the hard carry Brood and just go like Satanic Link Game or something clowny like that. I don't know. Maybe Diffusal. Diffusal's actually not bad if you think about it. Or Scotty. You just punch somebody with your mandibles, I guess, and then you just run them down forever because they're already so slow from getting hit with the passive, and then you just run them down.
Well, final pick now for the side of Vega. So they're still looking for what we would expect to be this offlaner, their solo laner.
Yeah.
Who kind of comes to mind that would be very nice against a lane that's looking to be so far at least going to have the Scarf and the Wraith King involved?
It's really hard to lane against that in general. Like a dual nuke with very high burst damage. I'm kind of curious of what Vega are going to try to pit against that. I mean, they took out Clockwork themselves and Axe and Centaur from Team Tinker. I kind of want to CLC and then maybe Vega try to do some like dual lane with Enchantress Roam to try to stop the Sky and the Wraith King from really having an effect on the safe lane. Because Team Tinker are going to last pick Black's hero. Unless he's playing Wraith King, which would be totally weird. But I mean, it's not like Wraith King's a very hard hero to play. It's just like, I don't think I've ever seen Black play it before. So it'd be kind of surprising. But I think the LC would do quite well against this matchup. So they're going to go Tide. Also kind of the same thing. Just a good hero who offers you some really nice team fight. Great deep push against the Brood. They buff Kraken by 2 damage reduction per level. Literally 8 more damage. 8 more damage reduction. I mean, 48 damage per hit reduced is a ton. Especially when you're reducing their base damage by 60% with maxed out Anchor Smash. I actually played this hero yesterday and built Guardian Greaves, and it was the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen in my life. Because when you get low, you get 15 armor and 15 health regen, and you have Kraken. So you just take no damage. It's completely insane. I don't know if he'll get Guardian Greaves, but you know, speculation, it's fun.
They could certainly come out of this game, and well, final pick for the side of Team Tinker is going to be the Quake for Wind Ranger.
Yeah, it's going to be Black Shadow Fiend. Kind of expected. So they're going to put Brood bottom for sure. They could put support with them if they wanted to, like just one support, because then Vega would have to address like all of their attention on that one lane. You know, just go down there and be like, okay, God, we got to deal with the Brood. We need something that we're going to be able to put against it. Going aggro is still very risky against Skywrath Wraith King because it's a very strong support duo, very high kill potential.
Okay, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, we're into the second game of this best-of-3 series between Team Vega and Team Tinker here, the ASUS ROG DreamLeague. I'm Odie Pixel, and I'm, of course, joined by Draskell. And over on the side of the Dire, let's have a look what we've got. We're going to have Pylider. He's going to be on the support Skyrath. You're going to have Waytu on the support Wraith King. The farming person of this game will be Black. And it looks like Qualifier, yeah, he's going to be heading up to the top lane. Black, of course, he will be that mid Shadow Fiend, just going to be able to help out with that top rune engagement. And finally, Bulba will be on the off lane Broodmother. Draskell, what are we seeing from the Radiant?
All right, so far we got Naimpachi Bashu. He's going to be playing on this Luna solo. He's going to be handling the Jungle Enchantress. Sima is going to be playing Shadow Demon. We're going to have No One playing DK. And then finally, Mag is going to be playing on Tide. And it looks like from the way they're positioned, they kind of want to go aggressive, but oh man, it's really hard, I think, for the laning phase of Vega this game. If you are in against a support Wraith King and the Skywrath Mage, Like, your Enchantress can get caught out in the woods alone and just get bopped to death. Like, you can actually just get chased down by that. But you are extremely fast, so maybe you can outrun it now.
Is this, I mean, looking at it, is this Team Tinker actually changing their lanes in response to what Vega are doing, and they want to change it so they're on the aggressive now? And Broodmother's on the solo safe.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to be up against 3 heroes, but I don't think he'll care too much. It's more maybe just about avoiding the tide, but it's going to be some musical lanes here for a second until Vega get into the position that they want, which ideally is somewhere where the Luna can at least get some farm. Because being against an offlane Wind Ranger is way easier for them, and they can actually kill the Wind Ranger with a Shadow Demon Enchantress combo, but Solo currently is in the enemy woods, so he's not going to be capable of ganking anytime soon.
He's going to get founded by a Wraith King and a Scaraf Mage, and I don't think Solo gets out of this one. They're going to run him down. He's going to look to try and deny himself here to the neutrals. Will be able to steal the Centaur. Nice little bit of play here with the Stomp, holding the Wraith King back, and Solo.
That was a lucky creep to spawn.
Oh, Black's not actually in position to find the kill there. And Ping's come out onto Black as if to say, mate, come on, we could have got yourself a kill there. But well, Solo's going to get out.
If he had a raise, he could have gotten the kill. But I think from how many souls he already has, he might have had level 1 Necromastery. Solo, though, very low here. Not going to be able to get it, but it does force the Enchantress to go base.
Indeed, and in terms of how the lanes have settled, you've got Mag up on this top lane against the Bulba Brood, but as you said, Bulba on the Broodmother not going to be totally alone. There's a Scarf hanging around in the sidelines as well for Tinker.
I think the lanes are going to be favoring Tinker, at least in 2 of the 3. You keep the Skywrath around the Brood, it's very hard to stop this Brood from being able to get farm, and mid, Shadow Fiend will eventually just crush the DK. The base damage difference is going to become too much. Like, he's doing really well on the first few waves, but he's not quite able to contest once he gets like level 5, maybe even a little bit before that. But some nice aggressive warding coming out from Team Tinker as well. They've illuminated the jungle, so they know if this Wind Ranger is going to get ganked.
Okay, and now Bulba, actually, okay, so now he's on the bottom lane.
Yeah.
So they're putting the Brood on the bottom. You've got your Wind Ranger and your Scaraf top, and Wraith King hanging around the mid lane. I was seeing if he can find any action onto the DK, but instead he's just going to head down to the bottom. Will find himself this double damage rune, and then can maybe look for some action. Where's he going to head for? He's going to head back towards the mid lane. Maybe looks to see if he can find a wraparound here onto the Dragon Knight. Solo is pretty low. I mean, if the Wraith King continues to delve into the jungle, or Solo comes out here, but
he didn't see him. He didn't see him. He pinged, but I don't think he actually saw him. The Centaur is there. He's going to get spotted. Man, that was close.
That was very close. Waitsu nearly found himself a very tasty little kill there, but yeah, the sight wasn't there, and he doesn't latch onto the Enchantress. Still 0-0 on the board, 2.5 minutes in. Top lane, Mag getting bullied out here by Paladin, the Scaraf Mage. But I mean, still, with the lanes settling now as they are, you still feel it's Team Tinker coming out on top in terms of laning.
Yeah, because no matter where the Brood goes, she wins her lane in the sense that she still gets farm, she still gets levels. So with that being said, you're going to win the safe lane anyway, or at least you should build your team in a way that wins your safe lane. So Quakefoot will probably do just fine up against a Tidehunter because he'll never be in range for Anchor Smash, and he'll also make a good mid-game transition into kind of a semi-carry. Brood wins, and Shadow Fiend wins. So it's like 3 lanes that will win, most likely for Team Tinker, but not by wide enough a margin to where I feel like Vega are going to be overly concerned about that. It's going to be up to the Enchantress, though. Can Solo make anything happen besides get ganked by this ward? Oh, God, he's so dead.
Indeed. Bulba, Waitsu, and Paladin there for the fun, and Solo, well, even with the creeps here, won't be able to keep himself alive. He goes down. First blood going to your offlane Brood there. Bulba will pick that up, and he's going to be pretty damn happy with that one. Good start there for Team Tinker.
It's exactly what you need. The interesting matchup is DK versus Shadow Fiend. Like, this DK is keeping up way better than I think he should be. Like 23 CS. Maybe the damage reduction from the Breathe Fire is doing a lot more work than I had previously imagined that it would. Because right now, Black, he is highest on CS, but it's very rare for a DK to be able to stay that close in CS to a Shadow Fiend for this long. Even though it's only 4 minutes, having 22 souls means that he hits for 44 extra damage.
Indeed, and I mean, looking at CS so far, Luna, she's on 19 at the moment in this safe lane, but certainly not finding as much as Nine-Pashi Bashu may have hoped to when they came to this lane. I mean, you're talking about them trying to find the best situation for the Luna to farm in. I mean, up against the Brood and the Scaraf that's been popping about, it's not a nice lane for the Luna.
Well, like we mentioned, there's no deep push between the 2 of them. It takes too long to stack up Shadow Poison to be able to reliably kill the Broodlings, so eventually, I think Bulba is just going to get like one gank, and they're going to completely run over this bottom lane. That's what I assume will happen.
Oh, Solo tries to smoke, but straight away Bulba's there. So the smoke will achieve nothing.
Dead.
He's in a lot of trouble. He'll pop the heal, but it's not going to be nearly enough. And yeah, indeed with the final nuke. Bulba bringing him down another kill, and this is not the jungle that Enchantress wants to be in.
This Brood pick is turning out to be absolutely devastating to the Enchantress. He can't stay in his own jungle. Like, you actually can't do anything against that level of Broodlings when you don't have any points into Untouchable, so you just get run down.
Smoke up now in the Die jungle from Way2 and Pylai Die. There was a ping coming out from the side of the Radiant as they did actually catch that underneath their wards, so they know something fishy's going on. Tidehunter, he's a fan of the fish though, hangs around in the lane and he's going to get caught out here, Mag. In comes Way2 with the Ray Fire Blast. Arcane Bolt coming through. He's fairly tanky. The Tidehunter does have level 6, pops the Ravage. And with the Anchor Smash onto Way2, it's not going to be enough because there's Shackle Shot and the Power Shot follow through. There's Qualifier, picks himself up a Tidehunter kill.
This laning phase is going so well for Team Tinker. They're just getting every single kill they need. They're winning the jungle. I mean, when I say winning the jungle, I mean they're killing the jungler. And he's not able to gank. Like, he hasn't done anything so far. He's had very little game impact, and that's not really on him. I think maybe starting in the opponent's woods was not the play. Just try to stay in your own jungle, secure the Luna farm, who is still doing pretty well. I mean, even though Sam has gotten kills, he's just like, he's doing his own thing. So we're going to see a nice little rune snipe here from no one as he gets the DD. But yeah, the Brood is going to be an absolute menace this game.
I mean, we're 6.5 minutes in, and if we look at the Brood's gold and farm at the moment, he's got the Soul Ring, and he's less than 100 gold away from the Midas at 6.5 minutes.
This is insane. Like, I don't understand how...
Mag, Ray Fire Blast, in comes the stun as well. And Mag, he's going to try and walk this one off. Shackle Shot won't latch, but it doesn't matter. He will go down. That's going to be another kill here for Wind Ranger. Qualifier, 2 kills against this Tidehunter in this safe lane.
Yeah, and he's going to start pulling ahead and farm. He's got his phase up and 1,000 gold on top of that. The Midas picked up on Brood. Right now, it just seems to be like all Team Tinker. And bottom lane, Bulba's just going in again.
Yes, indeed. He self-disrupted himself, and he's solo there. The Broodlings will be able to finish that. It's a killing spree for Bulba. Yep. 7 minutes in. This is some pretty impressive Brood play coming out from Tinker.
It could just be a little bit of an oversight from Vega to not ban the Brood, because Team Tinker, Bulba was one of the first players who really started like playing a ton of Brood way back in the day, and just not respecting the fact that the hero is very strong at the moment. Did get some buffs, not significant enough to where I think that's the only reason they picked it, but more so because their draft was very susceptible to the hero. Like the pick in itself just makes it so powerful. Like this TP, I mean, yeah, they dust him, but can they actually kill him?
Mag's coming in, hasn't got any points in the gush. Bulba tries to hide himself in the tree line. The poison catches him out. Now the Anchor Smash, he's trying to run. And now here we go with the Ray Fire Blast from Way2 onto Mag, trying to save the Spider. And Broodmother will get disrupted up. In comes the Shadow Poison. Will it be enough to blow Bulba up? He's still alive on 60 HP. I think he gets out of this one. Way2 might pay of his life though. He's only level 3. Ravage will come through, catch him and the Skywrath. Pylai Die might fall as well here. Will find the kill onto the Shadow Demon as he goes down. But it's a 2-for-1 trade for Tinker, and well, Vega. Sorry, 2-for-1 trade for Vega, as Vega do just lose the Shadow Demon.
Yeah, the Anchor Smash was a little bit mistimed there on the disruption from Mag, so they in the end don't end up getting the kill. Even with the Soul Catcher on him, it wasn't enough. I can't believe he didn't die. Like, I don't understand how he didn't die. But they are going to get the mid tower in the meantime. So this is what we talked about in the previous match about DK, is that once somebody leaves your lane for any reason, or you get a gank, you just get the tower. It just dies. There's no way you can keep it alive, especially without the help of a Treant. So I think the DK's impact is going to be much higher here. Black.
Yeah, there's still a double damage here.
This is lethal damage.
And it's a lot of damage as well. Black, oh, he's going to pop. He's going to pop. Lethal damage. What a nice buff, and he's going to TP out, and there's nothing to cancel it.
Lethal damage. Lethal corrosive damage, because pre-patch he would not have died there.
Well, he's looking good for the Dragon Knight. It's certainly good. It's looking good. He's taking the tier 1. He finds himself a kill onto the Shadow Fiend. 9.5 minutes in, though. The lead certainly still feels like it is there for Team Tinker. I mean, looking at the net worth, yeah, Dragon Knight's at the top, but then he's quickly followed by the Brood, the Wind Ranger, and the Shadow Fiend. Talking about Shadow Demon, he's a little bit deeper into the Dire jungle.
He's fine.
Yeah, he's fine with the haste, indeed. He gets himself out.
So we got overly excited about a damage over time ability, I guess, on an auto attack. It was just really cool because in the past, DK would have watched Black walk away and just been super sad. But instead, he gets the kill, so good for him. Good for you, DK.
DK does need to be careful, though. There's Wraith King on the sidelines along with the Scarf Mage. Bottom lane, Boba continues to just skip the creeps out here. And having a pretty good time overall. He's up there in terms of CS. Fourth on the board, this Broodmother, and he's still continuing to shut down the Luna for the most part. Luna, 4.2k gold on him so far. And it is going to be as the Ogre Club coming out for that for win range. Yeah, so he's working straight to the Agnim's here, Qualifier.
Yeah, we are going to see the proper Slasher's way. I'm sure he'll be happy about that. But, I mean, Vega are kind of losing out on some kills, but we have to also see that their CS is still very good. Mag, though, might be in some trouble.
Yeah, he has got the Ravage in a second, but it's Devil up to TP out, and he does make it away. Nothing to stop it. Dragon Knight's coming, though. He's on his own, looking to see if he can catch out Pilot Die here, and he's got a double damage bottled up again here, this DK. Yeah. So on the side of Team Tinker won't be looking to fight into him, especially with just the two of them. In the Die jungle at the moment, both Solo and Seema the Slayer walking around as a pair. Seeing if they can catch anyone out. It's got the we've got the Luna, in fact, on the off lane at the moment, just on her own here, trying to find some farm. Has the the Helm of Iron Will. Way 2 looking for a wrap round. Eclipse is available, of course, for Luna. Way 2, he's going to get disrupted. They've got the stun from the Centaur, and they've also got the Rock Toss here from the Rock Golem to follow up as well if they need to. And oh, they don't. There we go. Final beam coming down from the Luna. They're able to bring down the Wraith King. Solo gets slow. But we'll be able to get herself out with the Nature's Attendant topping her back up.
I really love the drafting style of Vega. And in all honesty, it feels like an older style that they're running. Like, all these heroes were crazy common maybe, I don't know, a year ago? Somewhere around there. And even LGD, and maybe it was a little bit longer than that, used to run the Shadow Demon Chen constantly, and it was just aggression all over the map. You get the DK just to be able to secure towers, transitions great into late game, then you secure your team fight with a Tide pick. It's like a nostalgia draft for me, so I really think that Vega are going to continue to do well with it. Ravage?
Indeed, Ravage straight away onto Pylide's Eye. Dragon Knight comes in to pick that one off, and that's how you kill a Scarf Mage.
Yeah, maybe they didn't need to Ravage him. Who knows? Maybe they just said they really don't like Skywrath Mage. I mean, they're going to be able to get damage on the tower, so the DK, like, this tower is going to melt.
Oh, Black, he's caught between 3 of them. The controls there from the Enchantress with the Centaur stomps, and it's a killing spree for Luna. Qualifier will find Enchantress there with a shot, but bottom lane as well. Vega, they find themselves a tier 1. Bashu needs to be careful. Shackle shot latches somehow. Here comes the focus fire. He's fairly tanky, the Luna, but he doesn't look like he's going to be tanky enough. No, the power shot from Qualifier finishing him off as he finds a double kill. But, well, Shackle shot still being a little bit shackly.
I don't understand how a Shackle does that. Like, you know what? We're not going to talk about it, because we'll just say that Shackle probably needs to be reworked in its original coding or whatever, because that did not look like it should have landed at all. Bottom lane.
Mag's going to go for the TP. There is a Dagon on your Brood. It won't be enough burst damage to bring him down, and oh, it's a good job for the Tide. He did get out, as I think he's just about 100 gold away from the Blink Dagger here now, and just 50 to go, yeah. So this is pretty good timing on your Tide Hunter.
Well, he could just sell his branches and buy it if he really wanted to. Might just hold on to them, though. Oh, he's going to hold on to him. He values his 2 stats. And that's fine.
Qualifier, he's just 150 gold away from the Aghanim, so it's going to be a 14-minute Ags, which is obviously fairly respectable here on the Win Ranger, level 11 as well. I mean, in terms of Team Tinker's ability to take this one late, I mean, this is a game where they don't have the Medusa. And against the DK Luna, I mean, do you feel Vega's draft is a little bit more comfortable in the latter portions compared to what they had in the first game?
I think it's actually even, because you got Shadow Fiend, you got Wind Ranger and Wraith King, who, even though he might not be transitioning into a super hard carry or anything, the lifesteal aura is pretty big. Like 30% lifesteal in the late game can be a tremendous difference in your carries just getting right clicks off. And you also can't underestimate the power of a Wind Ranger with Aghanims and damage items. Like, one good Shackle can just be like, boom, dead hero, dead hero. But then you also have Shadow Demon, Dragon Knight, Tide ultis, and Luna. So yeah, I mean, both teams have very good late game. It's not a matter of who has better, it's just more about who plays better with these 2 drafts. I think it's quite even at the moment.
Highlights Eye. Ice is going to TP out. Those are kind of a reaction from Vega as well as they send both the Enchantress and the Shadow Demon down into our jungle. Bulba looks for some action. He's going to find it. Blows up the Enchantress there.
Yeah, the old Dagon spawn Spiderling is on a hero with the worst strength gain in Dota. He's not having a great time. I don't know if Midas is going to really pay off for him too much if the Brood just sits in his jungle the entire game. He's probably just going to continue dying like that. I think he might just be better served smoking with the Shadow Demon, or at least going with the rest of his team so he doesn't just become a liability.
We are going to see the Shadow Blade now complete onto your Dragon Knight. Luna, her farm still been pretty well here on the top lane. Now, Ray Fire Blast onto no one. Way2 going to try and walk this one off, but drums are popped. He wants to go in here, no one. Nah, turns around as a raise to the face. Spooks him a little bit too much in the mid lane.
Probably better that they didn't chase. Like, committing to a Wraith King who has his ulti up is not really the play. But there is a Shadow Blade now, so he might be able to go for black here.
Straight in. The ultimate form, and there's Black getting caught out by the Dragon Tail. Max there with the follow-up damage. They blow the Ravage. They want to make sure this SF goes down. Shadow Fiend will pop the mech.
Oh, the invis. Come on. No, they're going the wrong way. Well, they make him use it, I guess. He's pretty much dead, so he'll have to go back to base soon.
Looks like, indeed, no one's going to die here on the side of Team Tinker. It's Qualifier also just TPing straight out from the top lane. Doesn't want to get caught out by this rotation from Vega.
Oh, are they just going to go Roche? They have a DD and Brood. Yeah, they're just going to Roche.
Okay. I mean, there is this Radiant Ward around that will catch out Qualifier heading to the pit, but can Vega respond in time to this one, Andy?
No. It's that. I don't even think they know. Like, they have Ward, but maybe they just weren't expecting this early of a Roche. The DD definitely helps, but they would have been able to do it even without the use of the DD. Qualifier now with an Aegis on his hands. He doesn't really have to go super early BKB this game either, so he can go just right into Crystallis if he wants, or he can go into something else like Maelstrom or MKB, whatever damage item he feels is best. I don't know, I think Qualifier is going to start carrying pretty hard soon.
Dire's top tower.
Yeah, I mean, how much of an issue is this Luna? She has got the Ogre Club, and well, she's getting bigger and bigger. Has enough of them for Hammer closing in on the BKB.
A Wind Ranger carry is actually very good against Luna for the sole reason that if you have Aghanim's BKB on the Wind Ranger, the Luna can't touch you. And again, another hero who doesn't really want to try to buy MKB in the early game because you need BKB. You kind of want Butterfly Satanic because those are the two like best late gamey items that Luna really strives to farm for. And you kind of have to break up your item progression just to be able to hit the Wind Ranger, which isn't ideal. So you're probably looking at like trying to bait out his BKB, or maybe just try to take it to the ultra late where you have a 6 slot versus his 6 slot, then it might be slightly more advantage. I'm not sure. But if Qualifier goes for BKB, he will be not killable by the enemy team.
Smoke up here from the side of Vega. And maybe seeing if they can catch up.
Oh,
Bulba, pop the dust, they'll chance it. But they aren't going to find the spider. Bulba is going to be able to back himself up the lane and get himself out of harm's way and towards safety.
They even had good presence of mind to pop the dust because the smoke broke immediately. And there was an Invis hero nearby, so they just went for the YOLO play. And unfortunately for them, it didn't pay off. And they're not really doing anything on the map right now. There's just 4 people of Vega sitting inside their own woods. I would say that Team Tinker are pretty heavily advantaged here.
Well, Team Tinker, Way2 and Qualifier starting to get a push on here on this top lane. See if they can find this tier 1 from the side of Vega. With the focus fire, be able to do a fair bit. Pashi Bashi's just farming up, stacking up the Ancients. Only a couple of 100 gold away from the BKB. Top tower will go down. And Qualifier and Way2 will back up as both DK and Tide come into the lane.
Well, I guess you can hope for Tide Refresher and like try to take team fights based off that. And of course, once Solo gets up his Midas and Aghanims, he will start to do some damage. But man, he has had so little impact this game. He's 0-4-2. I think similar to what the Beastmaster did in game 1 for Vega, the Brood is doing for Team Tinker in game 2. Just buying time, creating space, finding picks, just making it so much easier for the rest of Team Tinker to get to their core items. That is just like no way to really address him. And we saw how they had to gank him, right? Like they brought 3 heroes down there with a dust and they still couldn't find him. Like when you have to commit that hard and you can't even find the 1 kill you're looking for, it makes it very, very difficult to function.
Oh, Luna coming straight out, but the attack on it just blows her up with the Spiderlings, finishing her off. And Nice BKB and ult there, Luna. It's not achieving anything.
Yep. Not a good position for Vega at all.
Talking about positioning, no one getting caught out with a shackle shot. Requiem from Black. Both their cores just getting absolutely annihilated by Tinker.
Maybe the Luna was not the best pick with Brood in the pool.
Mac takes a Mystic Flare to their face and will continue to walk it off. Will be able to blink away as well. It's not going to be enough damage to bring down the old Tide anyway, as he will get himself back to the fountain as well. But I mean, yeah, Team Tinker, after game one, they're certainly looking to be in a lot of a stronger position here in game two, 20 minutes in.
What are Vega meant to do about this? I really think the Brood pick just hurt them so badly. Like, it threw a huge wrench into their game plan. Just get the Luna farm, you rotate with the Shadow Demon and the Enchantress, you try to kill mid, because that gank against Shadow Fiend is incredibly powerful. A Disruption almost guarantees a kill, because it means a DK will stun, whatever Enchantress creep you have will also be able to follow up. But because of the Brood, the Enchantress could never pressure any lane. The Brood was always the one making the pressure and taking it off of the middle lane and taking it off of the safe lane. And Solo has not been able to do anything because of it at all. So I think it's just the liability of the Enchantress at this point that's just hurting them so badly. And this Brood now is upgrading his Dagon all the way up to level 5. So any hero that he finds, it's just Dagon, one Spawn Spiderling dead.
Oh, no one's even into the mid lane. Finds a Dragon Tail onto Black. There'll be the disruption here onto your Wraith King. Black turning around with the raises onto Bashu. But he's doing fairly well now with the BKB and he's hitting fairly hard. Black will try and back off. Ravage catches both Qualifier and Way2. Way2 will go down, but he has got the ultimate. Be coming back to life. Qualifier getting low. The Emphasis is flying through. We'll get a Luna Beam, but Qualifier's still alive on the Wind Ranger. It's an unstoppable kill streak for Bulb as he's able to bring down the Enchantress. But now he gets caught out by a Dragon Tail. They will finish off the Spider. It's a 2-for-1 so far. Now Qualifier backing up a Shackle shot very nicely onto no one, and Qualifier's just trying to fight through this, so Mag will get Ancient sealed up. Black looking for a Requiem, won't follow it through as of yet. Mystic Flare comes down, won't catch anyone. Gush onto Pylite Die now. 9 Bashu trying to finish off the Scarif Mage, but a Shackle shot onto 2, very nice. Black pops the Requiem, now they turn around. Luna's been taken down. Seema pops as well. It's a double kill here for Qualifier. Dragonite trying to fight for a blink forward from Mag with the Anchor Smash, will find the kill onto the Scarif Mage. Power shot, triple kill for Qualifier. Fantastic play here from the Wind Ranger. What a fight there between the two sides, and coming out with a triple kill. Team Tinker, I guess, coming out on top just out of the back of that.
The interesting thing is that fight was relatively even in trade.
Yeah.
Now, at the beginning of the fight, they pretty much dumped everything they could into Black, and Mag waited as long as he possibly could to try to hit the Ravage on Black when his BKB wore off, but he couldn't do it long enough. Like, he couldn't wait that long, so he ended up like clipping him on the edge, but the BKB was still active, didn't hit him, didn't kill. Qualifier had Aegis, and they killed Way2 twice. So if you consider they didn't have Aegis on the Wind Ranger for that fight, and maybe Way2 was not one of the first priority targets, they probably would have won that engagement, because the Wind Ranger died pretty early. It just happens that when you have an Aegis, one death doesn't really matter that much because you just come back to life again after the enemy's team has used all their ultimates now. Thankfully, they didn't lose the gem. Smag recovered it, and he was able to blink away to safety and bring it back for the DK. But I still think that Vega are in this game. Like, that fight looked pretty lopsided for Team Tinker, but it was only because of the Aegis.
Indeed, I mean, this is a nice bit of play for Vega. They've got a fairly nice Ancient stack for 9 Bashu on top of the BKB and the Helm. It's got 1k gold, and with this, he'll be able to find a fair few hundred more. But still 23.5 minutes in, things looking good for Tinker. But Vega, certainly not out of it. I mean, we saw in that fight that if the Luna doesn't get nuked down straight away before the BKB, she can punch pretty damn hard.
It's not her damage output that's the problem. It's her ability to stay in range of heroes to attack, because her auto attack range is only 330, and she needs to be able to chase down and get her ultimate off in a team fight and hit some important targets. So I guess his ultimate was decent that fight. Mag's Ravage hit everyone except for Black, because he was running away. And I mean, they got an unstoppable streak from the Brood as well. There was a lot of great things about the last engagement going for Vega, and if they can manage to stop Team Tinker from getting the next Roshan, I think they might actually be fully back into this. Qualifier, though, picking up the Daedalus at just 24 minutes in. He is going to do so much damage now.
Shadow Blade also picked up here on Black on the Shadow Fiend. So, what's the next point of call here for the both sides? I mean, with the drafts that they've got, do you feel there's kind of any side that has a little bit more urgency about it this game?
I think Vega are okay going into the late game with their Luna and their Tide, their DK. Like, they have the late game potential. It's just more about not giving away really bad engagements and not getting picked off. Like, that's the thing that could change the outlook of the game very easily.
Okay, now, well, mid lane. That. Spotted out here by Solo, and Solo's got some backup. Luna coming in, but just use her to continue to farm up. She's got the Yasha now as well, so I mean, you're talking about 9 Pashi Bash, you're wanting to be able to chase up and keep in range of the enemy. The Yasha's going to help with that.
Well, she's one of the fastest heroes in the game already, so yeah, having Yasha puts her at 418 without even drums or anything else. Next fight looks like it will probably be that Roshan contention. It's going to be up pretty soon. Boba's even chilling up on the hill over here, so he can scout it out when it spawns. But the ward coverage right now, not really too great for either team.
Oh, he's going to throw the Octagon comes in, blink forward from Mac. They find the Gush. Pylai tries to TP out, takes a beam to the face. And Pylai will go down there.
Not the greatest. He might actually have time to get back, though. And that's nice. Because if he didn't have time to get back to Roshan before it spawns, Vega might have just, like, gotten a really good pick into bringing themselves back in it. But right now, still waiting to see what this Tide is going to go for. I can only imagine it's going to be Refresher.
Well, here we go. CMS scouting out the Roshan. Boba will back himself up.
Dire's bottom tower is
You've still got the Luna farming in the mid lane. On the side of Team Tinker, you have got the Wraith King. Also finding some farm at Black, also in the jungle. Just trying to keep up his farm momentum. And as we can see on the network board at the moment, the top 3 heroes at the moment all on the side of Team Tinker.
Yeah, it's not by much, though. 1 or 2 team fights can change that pretty drastically. And the other thing, too, is the supports on Team Tinker are actually almost as poor as the supports on Vega. Now, we're running an Enchantress, so it's not really a position 5 or anything like that, but the Shadow Demon's, like, taking the hit for everyone else so they can maintain relevant on their own CS and Black.
Oh, Black's going to walk here into a Dragon Knight. Does Dragon Knight have the backup? Yes, he does. Mag comes through with the Ravage, catching out Black and Qualifier. Black will pop the BKB, and he will be able to get himself just out of range. Potentially, no, with the Shadow Blade, he's going to be able to close the gap. No one, and he goes to the high ground, will bring down Black. The Requiem doing so much damage there to the DK, and he will lose his life. It's a 1-for-1 trade so far. Blink forward from Wraith King. Finds the Wraith Fire Blast onto Solo, looking for the crits and a bit of slow-mo. There'll be a defensive disruption coming out from Seaman the Slayer. Seaman the Slayer looking to TP out. Will he be able to make it? Yes, he will. They did lose Solo on the Enchantress. It's a 2-for-1 so far. Both Luna, Mag, and of course the Shadow Demon able to escape there, though.
They lost the gem, too. That's the more devastating part about that whole engagement is way too secures it for his team. And when he walked high ground to kill Black, he got Ancient Sealed before the Death Requiem went off. So he took like 1,000,000 damage instead of it just being like I don't know, maybe a third of his health gone. It was more like over half. And Team Tinker will be quite happy with that trade. They have the Wraith King with the lifesteal aura maxed out now, so they can just casually walk into the pit. And with just a focus fire, it's more than enough to be able to kill it. That means Quaifa will have Aegis number 2, and he's about halfway to BKB right now. Or will be, at least, when Roshan dies.
And Team Roshan, so for Quaifa, will be able to grab himself up that Aegis. And yeah, Wind Ranger looking very, very scary at the moment. 28 minutes into the game. Mag, he's managed to find himself that Mystic stuff and will be able to close on to what I imagine is going to be the Shiva's Guard. Do you feel, is there anything else you could go for this game with the Mystic stuff?
Shiva's is really nice. I don't think you want to go Hex. Like, the armor is nice against the Shadow Fiend. Being able to stay in the team fight and just reduce the attack speed of the SF, the Wind Ranger, for example, both very nice. But he needs the mana pool, most importantly. And you don't want to commit to Hex when you also kind of have Refresher on your mind. I think the Refresher is too expensive with a Hex, but if you go Shiva's, which is a cheaper item, and then into Refresher, like, you're saving yourself, like, what, 1,000 gold, I think it is? 1,075, something like that. And that can be a big difference if you're just trying to defend high ground. Being able to get that item a little bit faster.
Okay, 29 minutes. And I mean, talking about defending high ground, Vega's lineup, how good is it at doing so this game in your eyes?
Well, obviously you're looking to Ravage. You got to get a good Ravage. You're going to need your Shadow Demon to be pretty defensively posed, I guess. I don't really think you want to try to disrupt anybody but either the Shadow Fiend or the Wind Ranger if you find an aggressive disruption. Otherwise, you're probably going to have to look out for a stun into a Skywrath ulti, and then you disrupt on that. So you have to stay pretty far away. Try to avoid getting shackled, because Quaifa, during that middle fight, when they were pushing out really hard, thinking that Vega were going to be able to take it, he landed two hero shackles back to back. and just completely equalize the fight. So avoid shackles, get a good disruption, make sure your Luna yells as loud as she can when she walks in with BKB and Eclipse, get a good Ravage. There's a lot of things you can do.
Black, he has now got the Silver Edge on the Shadow Fiend, and I tell you someone, well, there's actually a few heroes that's going to be really nice against. Removing Untouchable and removing Dragon's Blood armor.
Yeah, like the DK will actually die very fast if he doesn't have Dragon's Blood, because it's more than half of his armor. Dragon's Blood gives him right now 12, and he only has 10 base. So you're basically taking away 12 from having the break mechanic, and then you get another 6? Yeah, another 6 from the presence of the Dark Lord. So you're taking him down from 22 armor to 4 by just hitting him with that. And that difference makes the DK feel not so terrifying anymore.
Indeed, Mag has finished off the Shiva's Guard on himself now. And looking for some action here. BKB is popped by 9pashibashi as he will just TP out of that. As the action did come in from the side of Team Tinker.
Damage.
And indeed, with that focused fire onto this tier 2, it's not going to be there for long. Qualifier will find himself a tower. 17-11.
Still very tough for Vega. They're going to have to delay this a very, very long time. If the Tide can get Refresher, I'd say they have a chance. Well, let me rephrase. If he can get Refresher before they start losing a lot of their base, I think they have a chance. Because that's when Team Tinker can overcommit, and a double Ravage can just dominate a fight.
Yeah, I mean, he's a long way from the old Refreshers. But maybe, I mean, if the game continues at this kind of pace where, I mean, it doesn't really feel like Team Tinker are trying to pressure the side of Vega too much at this point.
They're playing it a bit safe, but I understand. Like Qualifier, he's working his way towards that BKB. He still has Aegis for a little while, so if he can get both up before they start pushing in, and by pushing I mean high ground, like they're claiming the last tier 2 right now, which is pretty standard for any team to make sure that you get all the outer tier towers before you try to break high ground, because so many people have like the 6.8.
Blink forward from way to straight to 9pashibashi, bringing it down to half health as well with the burst damage from the Dagon. Will pop the BKB, but getting fairly low. Nature's Attendants will help out. They bring down way 2 on the Wraith King once, and now Qualifier looking to chase forward. Will get purged here by some of the Slayer. The Shackle Shot this time, it doesn't latch, but still Shadow Demon will go down here in the jungle. It is one hero down on the side of Vega. Solo trying to TP out, and he will get out as the power shot doesn't quite clip him there from Qualifier. But a 1-for-0 trade there favoring the side of Team Tinker. All they lost there was the Reincarnate on the Wraith King.
Shadow Demon going down is not too big of a deal, though. I think he more or less sacrificed himself when he threw that Demonic Purge out on the Qualifier to try to stop him from chasing his other teammates. So the one downside is Dragon Form will be down for this fight. And DK, if nothing else, is extremely reliant on his ultimate form to be able to team fight. Like the difference between being melee and ranged at this stage, and it's not just range, it's 500 range, which is pretty long. Some of the longer auto attack range of ranged heroes, but yeah, I think, oh, they're not even pushing, wow. Team Tinker are definitely playing this passive. Like they want to just make sure they have everything they need to be able to just break base.
I mean, in terms of net worth, they've obviously got a huge advantage at the moment, 12,000. XP as well is about a 12,000 lead at this point in the game. I mean, looking at your Shadow Fiend and your obviously your Wind Ranger cores on the side of Team Tinker, what items are they waiting for, do you feel?
Well, the BKB is now done for Qualifier, and his Aegis wore off, so that's probably his go-to. I don't know if Black is still going to go for Scotty. I think he might go a damage item or he might go lifesteal. I'm kind of leaning towards those two things. Because Qualifier, he does a lot of damage, but you're going to need more than just one hero attacking the tower, I think, to break base at this point, even with a freshly purchased BKB on him. And if he goes for Scotty, I think he'll be a little bit lacking in the damage department, even with the break mechanic on the Silver Edge.
I mean, on the side of Vega, 9pashibashi, he's got the Manta
Star. He could go
Star.
Butterfly too. Yeah, okay, he's going to go Butterfly.
And he's got 2... Oh, what is it? Black? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I was just talking about Black.
Okay, and they're going to smoke up as well. Black, Pilot down, way 2. Heading towards the Radiant Jungle. Are they going to be able to catch anyone out here? There's a fair few heroes on the side of Vega around. Oh, Shadow Demon.
It's actually the best thing if he tanks the gank. If Mag dies, it's 10 times worse.
Oh, prepare yourself for 10 times worse. This is a Mystic Flare down onto the face of the Tide, and to the punches from Black on the Shadow Fiend. It's going to mean, indeed, that Mag, he's down for a good minute here.
It's kind of a counterintuitive play, but if you just have the Shadow Demon suicide, like if he knows the gank's coming, it's better for him to die like 100% of the time. And when we say things like tank the gank, it usually refers to a support sometimes intentionally dying so the rest of his team can live. You see people do that pretty often in team fights, but some people have the tendency to dodge. Oh my god, the DK is just getting wrecked. Holy... Wait, what?
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 Did that not? Why didn't that hit?
Ace Frog?
Is there a reason why that didn't?
Yeah, the creeps, I guess, maybe mitigated the damage or he didn't channel it fast enough.
Could be indeed. Must have been. Naipashi Bashi would try and TP out. He will get out. Shadow Demon won't. But yeah, unfortunate for Qualifier that he didn't find that kill there.
Yeah, he probably just let it go early. Ever since they changed the draw time and how Power Shot works, like if you don't do a full channel now, it just does like very little damage. It was just bizarre because his health like didn't even move. It was almost as if the Power Shot didn't hit him at all. That's why I was like, what? But yeah, he manages to live. Very close call though.
20 to 11 Dragon Knight working his way to I guess what will be the Assault Caress this game. Now with the first Hyperstone into his inventory, and I mean Tidance has got the first Perseverance on the long road towards the Refreshers Orb.
I'm honestly thinking that Team Tinker should probably pressure a little bit more than they are, unless they feel super comfortable and just waiting for Roshan again. I guess that's not really a terrible play.
Bashi is going to get found out here with the agency of the Dagon, and he walks through the Mystic Flare, tries to get himself out. Bulba will bring down Naipashi Bashi, and I mean, Luna was just a little bit far out there on her own there.
Yeah, they're just dying everywhere. Like, they're not willing to take a 5-on-5 team fight, but they're trying to still continue their farm. Like, wait for Mag for his refresher, wait for the AC, wait for Luna to maybe get Butterfly. Those items are really big for Vega. It's like the one item transition into the late game can be all the difference in the world. Being able to get 2 Ravages off. Well, a very expensive item on your core that makes it so maybe Black and Wind Ranger don't crush the Luna quite as hard as they do right now. But as it stands, Team Tinker still hold a very dominant grip over the map in the game.
Indeed, and if we look at the old net worth and XP, is it continuing at the same momentum? Yeah, it really is. I mean, over 15,000 in terms of net worth and coming up to 17.5k in terms of XP for the side of Team Tinker. And I mean, Vega, they're going to need a couple of big fights really if they want to turn it around at this stage.
It'll take 1 or 2, I think. Like really big fights. We're talking like multiple heroes going down. Like a high ground push, for example, is a good chance for them to try to turn it. But Tinker not really looking to take the risk of going high ground right now. They'll just wait out the next 10 seconds for Roshan to respawn, and they will abuse their advantage as much as they can.
Yeah, Bulba, he's now got an E-Blade on top of his level 5 Dagon, so I mean, he is blowing up anybody on the side of Vega now.
If he finds, let's see, the Shadow Demon, he's instantly dead. Luna almost dies, Enchantress almost dies. Tide almost dies. DK is the only one who can live through the combo pretty easily.
Okay, Luna will farm the Ancients here solo. No one, Seam of the Slayer here on the top lane. Seeing if anyone comes out on the side of Team Tinker, but it doesn't look like Team Tinker are falling for this one. They're all down towards the bottom half of the map, around the Roche pit, and well, with Roche back up, they'll go for it. And with Black and Qualifier, Roche, he's just going to absolutely melt here. And this is going to be a quick Roshan and a quick Aegis for the side of Tinker as Cheese goes the way of Black, and Qualifier will take himself the Aegis of Immortal.
Welp, this is the time. This is when Team Tinker decide if they want to go try 5 down mid. Shadow Blade on way 2.
And with the Sanj as well, it's just a few gold off complete Silver Edge as well.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty spooky for Vega. They're going to have to not take a team fight outside of their base. Like, no way can they win that. And they also need buyback on everyone. Let's see. Okay, the only person in the game who has buyback is the Luna.
Monster kill streak here for Qualifier as the focus fire flies through, the crits come to fruition. Titan is dead for 60 seconds, still Vega. They're trying to get the push on here in the top lane, and I mean, with the 9 Bashi Luna, towers will fall fairly quickly, and with the Dragon Knight as well.
Yeah.
They've got to do something in response. Black and Qualifier, they're looking just for the trade. Way 2 comes in with a Mystic Flare onto Solo. Nice defensive disruption there, keeping the Enchantress alive. They'll turn it down. They'll be able to bring down the Wraith King once. Skyref Mage, he falls, will buy back for this fight. 9 Bashi's going to TP out straight away. There goes your E-Blade, Dagon combo onto Dragon Knight, who pop the Silver Edge and get himself out. Bulba trying to chase this down. Sorry, not Silver Edge, it's just a Shadow Blade at the moment onto the DK. And he will try and TP out from the tree line. and it looks like he will be able to get himself back to base.
Has fallen.
But top as well. So it is, yeah, it's a racks for racks trade between the two sides.
Still really good for Vega. Like, without a doubt, that was the best move that Vega could have made. They even killed in the side of the base of Team Tinker and forced buyback.
Oh, Luna wants to give it some to Black, but well, Black is going to scare back 9 Pashi Bashu. He doesn't want to take this one on 1v1.
Not yet. He doesn't have Butterfly. He doesn't have MKB either, so Black's Butterfly is like very, very potent for him. And he has Cheese too. I think, yeah, I mean, for Vega, that was pretty good. They got inside of the base. They had Luna. They had DK with ultimate form. Just goes to show, even against a Focus Fire Wind Ranger with Daedalus, you can still outpush or at least contend with how fast they push out.
Smoke up from the side of Tinker. Way2 and Pylar die. Coming down the mid lane. They've got Qualifier in the sidelines. Demon Edge on top of the Daedalus. And Broodmother, of course, can join the fray with her boosted travel. Black coming in. The Shadow Blade, but they see him. And Black, he's going to go down here. Yeah, that's just Shadow Fiend down straight away. But 9 Pashi Bashu with the BKB and the ultimate there brings down Wraith King once. Qualifier pots the BKB. He'll go down as well. Aegis is gone, and indeed, the Ravage is still available here. Mystic Flare onto no one. There's your Ravage catching out Skyrath, Pylar and Qualifier. Way2 blink forward. Qualifier with the Focus Fire, trying to find Luna. They will, but the impetus damage flying through Qualifier. He'll tick down to the Shadow Demon. Wind Ranger and Shadow Fiend down. It's the DK and Luna that have fell, but Luna has brought back 9 Pashi Bashu trying to chase down Way2 here. Way2 will be able to blink away, and Pylar gets himself out of a TP as well. I mean, that's a fight, if anything, favoring the side of Vega there. They managed to come out on top and with a good 3,000 or, well, 2,500 XP lead in terms of exchange and a slight gold exchange advantage as well. Vega are holding on.
It's not just about the fact that the golden experience exchanged. It was more the fact that now Mag is so much closer to Refresher. He didn't have to Ravage until after Quakefa had already died once. And that's all because Black got caught out at the start of the engagement. So assuming Team Tinker get a good fight, we probably won't see something as lopsided as what Vega just showed. And even in that sense, like, they lost their Luna. She also bought back into the game. But I am like, I can't believe that Vega are still doing this well. Like, they're very tenacious as a team, like being able to stop what Team Tinker had been doing to them, at least not lose their entire base, when Bulba has just had his way with the entire map. Like, he's 9-1. He's had one time in a 42-minute game. And without the work that he did, I think that Vega would have just walked over them.
Bulba throws the E-Blade onto Mag, will blink back straight away. And with Pylar, they'll both back themselves out of the Radiant Jungle here. They don't want to hang around. And they'll get themselves safely back to their half of the map. But yeah, 14-24. Vega still holding on. They may be racks down, but so are Team Tinker. It's looking fairly even. And I mean, in terms of the game going late, you were talking earlier about the fact there is a Shadow Fiend and a Wind Ranger. I mean, is there any point where the Luna kind of gets to that hyper carry stage where she'll just be able to melt through them, or do you kind of feel Team Tinker will always have at least a late game presence that's equal to that of Vega?
It'll always be equal.
Yeah.
I think when you get Satanic and MKB up on Luna, that's going to be her 6th slot, and then she'll go for bots, for example. But the Wind Ranger is always going to hit freaking hard. I mean, look at Quakefa's farm. He's working his way towards his own MKB after already having completed the Daedalus, the BKB, the Aghanims, now bots. So yeah, there's always going to be contention for damage here. That was a fast Dragon Knight, but I don't think he wants any at Quakefa. It's a bit scary. The one hero that we kind of neglected to mention, though, was the Enchantress. Like, that last fight, Solo was just laying into Quakefa during the last part of that engagement. See some Mag taking some harass here, but the Purge.
Oh, indeed, the Purge onto Pylar die, but Bulba now with the E-Blade onto Shadow Demon. He does manage to get the disruption off, and Power Shot and Dagon, though, brings him down nonetheless. Bulba now on a dominating kill streak.
Here we go.
That's a Broodmother.
That's a Broodmother and a Refresher Orb on your Tidehunter as well. I mean, with 2 Ravages, they can kill any hero on the team. Like, that is more than enough time to take out, like, Black, for example. He didn't even get Ravage. He just got DK stunned, and he died in that time. So if you imagine double Ravage and the potency that it can have in this game, even with a massive lead that Team Tinker have accrued, they can lose a fight easily. Like, that's just because of how good Tide is, but not if Enchantress is dead. That's bad. That's really bad.
Slowly getting caught out in the jungle, and indeed, she's down for a whole minute without buyback, Dreskel.
Yeah, I think this is probably just another set of racks now. Like that, you can't let yourself get caught out like that. Bag?
Oh, he gets a Ravage out. Will be able to hold Qualifier back. Can they try and turn this one? 9 Pashy Basher will get H sealed up. Does have the BKB. Well, Mag will be able to blink himself out. Now he puts the BKB. Lunar Ult coming out as well. But they're losing the Dragon Knight very quickly. Bulbo on a mega kill streak as he brings down the DK. DK now will buy back, but of course he doesn't have the ultimate. Waits at the front of the lines, finds a Ray Fire Blast onto Luna. Bulbo comes in with a Dagon, finds the kill onto Luna as well. Luna's down for 100 seconds. No buyback available. GG, well played. It is Corden. I mean, Draskell, I think they need to seriously think about banning the Brood next game.
Well, with the strategy that they had, banning Brood was like the only option. If you look at their draft, it was so susceptible to Brood. I mean, I don't know. Like Bulbo kind of won them the game. It's just he did so much. He kept that Enchantress out of the game. He kept the bottom lane out of the game for a very long time. They were basically playing like a 4v1 for Tinker because Bulbo was keeping 3 or 4 heroes busy the entirety of that match. So yeah, I mean, fantastic draft from Tinker. They exploited the Brood to its utmost and showed its power.
I mean, 12 for 2. And I mean, the Quake for Wind Ranger as well.
Yeah, I mean, Qualifier played phenomenal. In the team fight mid, when he landed 2 hero shackles, I was like, okay, this is a bit ridiculous. Like, you don't have to hit 2 hero shackles every single team fight. But he did manage to do it at a very pivotal stage where they were continuing to chase after they had won the first engagement by the tier 1 tower, and they got Aegis off of him. And then they chase because they feel like they have the advantage. And then that happens and they turn it around. And that was a really crucial point in the game for them. So obviously big props. But the last part was really awkward because I was talking about how Solo had like Aghanim's BKB and how much damage he could do. And then he just gets picked off randomly and the game ends. So I was like, yeah, well, that was anticlimactic. But going to a game 3 at least.
Indeed, game 3, and it's going to be a decisive one, at least looking from the games we've seen so far. First game, Vega looking very strong, but second game, Tinker with the bulbous Broodmother, and of course the Liquid Qualifier. He's not Liquid.
Yeah, they're on
anymore,
different teams.
Different
they're just
teams
like
now.
it's an all-stars match.
Qualifier, Wind Ranger looking very, very strong. I don't know who's going to take this series, and well, you guys are going to have to hang around if you want to find out. We're going to be back with game 3 very shortly, but first of all, of course, we're going to run some commercials and then send you over to our panel. But for myself and Draskell, we'll see you guys in a few minutes.